People ask me all the time, how do you make your shots look like this? And my answer is simple. Cinematic shots aren't just about having the best camera, it's about how you see the world. It's about how you capture things. And as I was walking through Vietnam capturing these shots, I've realized that there are certain things that I do while shooting the clips that make it more cinematic. So let me walk you through 10 things that I used while filming there that can instantly transform your clips and make it cinematic. Whenever I'm out filming, the first thing that I think about is composition. Where I place the subject changes everything. Sometimes I use the rule of thirds to create balance, and sometimes breaking that rule and centering your subject feels more powerful. So I try to play around with different composition techniques and go for whichever one suits the situation the best. Something else that I used in the streets of Vietnam is leading lines. Well, I've always used leading lines, but I used it even more there. A road, a river, or even a row of market stalls can guide your viewer's eyes directly towards your subject, making the shot feel more intentional. But composition alone can still feel flat, and that's where depth comes in. Every cinematic shot that you see usually has a midground, foreground, and background. So maybe you're filming through leaves and your subject is in the midground, and the background is some sort of a building or a temple or open skies. So that's layering, and that layering creates dimension. And then of course, light. You can't control the sun, but you can learn to work with it. Harsh midday sun gives strong contrast. So when I was shooting in Cat Cat village, it was bright sunny day, so I got a lot of contrasty clips. Meanwhile, when I was shooting there during golden hour, it gave a soft cinematic feel which makes the shots look more dreamy. You can see it for yourself. Now let's talk about movement. Even the smallest camera movement adds a parallax effect and makes the world feel more alive. A gimbal walk, a slow handheld push. It's simple, but it changes everything. And sometimes it's not about movement, but perspective. Shooting from a low angle makes the world feel more big and dramatic. Shooting from above, like a drone view, makes the world feel more grand and surreal. And of course, a single shot is never the whole story. That's why sequencing matters. So whenever I see a subject or I plan to shoot something, I take 3 different shots. A wide shot to establish the scene, then I move to a medium shot to show the subject, and then finish it with a close-up. And that simple structure alone can make your shots feel more intentional and not just random clips. Another thing that often gets overlooked when you're trying to make your videos look more cinematic is text and titles. And these are some of the fonts that I typically use in my videos. You can browse around sites like thefont.com where you can find some of these fonts for free, and they really are a game changer. I mean, really think about it. When you watch a great film, the fonts, the titles, the way things animate onto the screen, all of it adds to the mood. But here's the thing. Creating those animations from scratch takes forever, and that's where today's sponsor Motionary comes in. Motionary is a platform created for creators like me and you with millions of curated assets. From video templates, music, LUTs, AI voiceover, sound effects, stock footage, and many more. For this project, I searched for a bunch of different motion graphic templates, and I found this specific one to be very aesthetic and cinematic. So what I did is I downloaded it, I dropped it into my edit, and I just swapped the text, and just like that I got what I wanted. And if I were to create this animation manually, it would have taken me hours and hours. Instead, I just got it done in minutes. And the best part is Motionary works with Adobe Premiere Pro, After Effects, DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut Pro, and even Adobe Premiere Rush. Plus, you can download unlimited assets. So if you want to save your time and make your shots look more professional, you definitely have to check them out. And if you use the link in my description, you get 2 months free on the annual plan. And thank you Motionary for sponsoring today's video. Now, when it comes to making your shots more cinematic, it's one of the most overused techniques, but it does really work. Playing around with slow motion can make everyday things feel more cinematic or more poetic, you can say, while normal speed feels more raw and real. I would say it's more of a personal choice. I've had my days where I used to play around with slow motion, but I like to keep things real and raw nowadays. Another thing that most beginners skip while trying to make a video look cinematic is aspect ratio. I mean, the shape of your frame can completely change how the same shot feels like. A 4:3 aspect ratio can make things feel more nostalgic and intimate, while cinematic black bars, which is 2.35:1, immediately immediately give scale and make things appear more dramatic. Try switching between these two aspect ratios depending on your story, and you will see that the same shot feels completely different. And then there's color. I mean, every place has its own color palette. Vietnam's vibrant colors in the streets of Hoi An feels much more different than its misty mountains and greens. Color sets the mood, and controlling it in your edit is one of the most important key factors. I usually use DaVinci Resolve to color my clips, and I have my own power grade, so I usually use that. I actually have a video on color grading which you can check right here. And finally, sound. We often think visually, but audio is half the cinematic experience. It might be the hum of scooters in a busy street, it might be the sound of the waves hitting the shore, or even the right sound effects layered with the perfect visuals create a whole cinematic experience and makes the scene feel more alive. Ignore the sound and even the most visually stunning sequences might feel empty. So those were the 10 things that I used while filming in Vietnam that can make your shots look instantly cinematic. Try to learn all the skills and layer all those skills together to create a whole cinematic experience. And I guarantee you that you will instantly transform your clip, no matter what camera you're shooting it with. So now, just go and grab your camera and keep creating.